On the 1st of August, a video came out of Davos in Switzerland.
Auston Matthews on the ice at a Swiss club's training rink, taking shots at a net. Joe Thornton feeding him pucks. Nothing dramatic in it at all. Blocker side, glove side, nobody picking corners. It was 142 days after a knee came across the ice at Scotiabank Arena and ended his season. That hit cost Toronto its captain the last 12 games of the year and whatever was still standing of the season. It cost Radko Gudas 5 games and $104,167, and the number 5 was not a verdict on the knee. It was a ceiling. Before we go further, one asks, this channel is a rebuild too, and unlike the one on the ice, it can be finished today. Every subscriber puts Toronto one further ahead of the Montreal channel. That is the only thing I want from you. Here's the part almost nobody outside a league office knows, and it is not a rumor. It is written down in the National Hockey League's own published explanation of how player safety works. When the Department of Player Safety picks up an incident, the first thing it decides is not the number of games, it is the format of the meeting. If the department believes the answer is 5 games or fewer, the hearing happens over the phone. If the department believes the answer might be 6 games or more, it is required to offer the player an in-person hearing, and in-person means New York, and a room, and lawyers. Radko Gudas had a phone hearing, which means that before a single word was said about the knee, the maximum available punishment was already 5 games, not because 5 was the correct answer, because 5 is the most a phone call is allowed to carry. So the ceiling and the sentence came out as the same number, and from outside the building there is no way to tell whether that is a coincidence or the entire story. That has not sat right with me since March, and I want to walk you through why. Start with the night itself. The 12th of March, Scotiabank Arena, Toronto against Anaheim. A little over 4 minutes left in the second period. Gudas' left knee catches Matthews' left knee. 5-minute major, game misconduct, ejected. Matthews goes down and leaves the ice, putting almost no weight on the left leg. Toronto wins the game 6-4, which by then is the least interesting thing that happened in it. The diagnosis comes back as a grade 3 tear of the medial collateral ligament plus a quadriceps contusion. Grade 3 is the top of that scale. It means the ligament is torn through, not stretched. Surgery followed the next week. 12 weeks of recovery, season over. He was 28 years old and he had 53 points in 60 games, 27 goals and 26 assists. The other side of the ledger, Gudas served 5 games against Ottawa, Montreal, Philadelphia, Utah, and Buffalo, and was eligible again on the 24th of March in Vancouver. The forfeited salary came to $104,167. For a comparison you can feel, Matthews carries a cap hit of $13.25 million a year. Spread across a regular season, that is about $161,000 a game. Everything Gudas gave up for all 5 games put together is less than what one Auston Matthews game cost the Toronto Maple Leafs on paper. That is not a moral point. It is arithmetic, and you can do it yourself. 5 days after the hit, George Peros, who runs player safety, sat down and defended the decision publicly. He said the department has a process it feels confident in and has been doing it a long time. He said, and this is the line worth keeping, that when they evaluate these plays, they look at the play and not the players. And he said he has to make the decision he can defend and the decision he can sleep with at night. I want to be fair to him, because the principle underneath that is not stupid, and most people shouting about this have never had to hold it. If you punish the outcome instead of the act, then the identical hit is worth 2 games when the man gets up and 15 when he does not. Same knee, same angle, same intent, wildly different sentence decided by luck and ligament. Every court system on earth has argued about that problem, and none of them has solved it cleanly. The league's own written criteria lists injury as one of the things it weighs, but deliberately not the thing that decides. That position is defensible. What is not defensible is the ceiling, because the ceiling is not a judgment about the play at all. It is a judgment about a calendar and a conference room made before the evidence is discussed, and it quietly determines the range everything else has to fit inside. 2 days before Peros spoke, Connor McDavid was asked about it and said that if every suspension ends in everybody complaining, the league should look at the process itself and find out whether there is a better way. Notice who said that. Not a Leaf. Not somebody with a stake in Toronto's season. Nobody at the league answered him. Now, the part this fan base does not want to hear, and it is the reason I am making this video in August instead of in March. The knee did not cost Toronto the season. When Matthews went down, the team was 29-28-13, 13 points behind Detroit and Boston for the last wildcard, with 12 games left to play. 13 back with 12 to go is not a team a healthy captain rescues. They went 3-8-1 the rest of the way and finished 32, 36, and 14. 78 points. last in the Atlantic, 28th in the league, out of the playoffs for the first time since 2017. The year before that, they had 108 points. A 30-point collapse in one season is a franchise record, and it was well underway before anybody had heard of a Grade 3 MCL. Craig Berube was fired on the 13th of May. John Chayka came in as general manager. Jim Hiller was hired on the 17th of June as the 41st head coach in the club's history, and Toronto won the first overall pick, which is the single most Toronto sentence I have ever had to read out loud. Everything above this line is on the record. What follows is mine, and I want it labeled as opinion. Blaming a Czech defenseman for a 30-point collapse is a comfortable story, and comfortable stories are how a club stays bad for a decade. I would like my own comment section to stop telling it, and that is exactly why the 5 games bother me more, not less. If the suspension had been meant to answer a ruined season, then a wrecked year would have to buy a longer ban, and Peros is right that it cannot work that way. But the number did not come out of weighing the play either. It came out of a procedural ceiling that was fixed before the phone rang. The league picked the smaller room, and the smaller room has a maximum, and the maximum is precisely what Gudas received. I will break with the other half of the room too. I do not want 20 games. I want the ceiling published as a decision. Say it out loud. We assess this as 5 or fewer, therefore a phone hearing. One sentence. It would end most of the argument, it would cost the league nothing, and the fact that it has never been said that way is the whole reason this video exists. 2 things to watch, and both have a date on them. Camp opens in September, and it is Jim Hiller's first. Watch whether Matthews is a full participant from the first day, or whether there is a maintenance schedule attached to him, because a rebuilt Grade 3 ligament does not usually announce itself in an August shooting video. His contract runs through 2027-28, so Toronto has this year and one more of him at 13 and a quarter. The second one is bigger than the club. In March, the best player alive publicly asked the league to audit how it hands out suspensions and got silence. Watch the first knee-on-knee of the coming season and count the games. If it comes back 5 again, you will know exactly how much work the ceiling is doing. 2 questions for you. The first is straightforward. If you were running player safety on the 13th of March, do you offer Gudas the in-person hearing? Yes or no? And give me the reason, not just the answer. The second one I actually want. When you think about the 12th of March now, 5 months later, what is the feeling? Is it anger at a defenseman, or is it something older and heavier about this franchise? Be honest with me. Every comment gets read.
Before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Toronto Maple Leafs news, trade rumors, roster updates, injury reports, and game analysis. We bring you fresh Leafs coverage every week, keeping you informed on everything happening around the team. And don't leave yet. The video appearing on your screen right now is packed with more Maple Leafs updates and insights that every fan should see. Click it now and keep watching.